We are too close to the royal onset of Commonwealth Games 2022. The players and the coaches, the mentors are all set to execute the best of their learnings, and to share this, we have with us the Indian hockey team coach Janneke Shopman, defender Monika Malik, and Nikki Pradhan, the midfielder. Welcome to the show. Mona, please take us through the memory of the World Cup, the New Zealand match where all of you were in tears. You played outstandingly well. Was it the real Chak De moment?
I would say we played from the first match very well as a we are very combined and we play as a team from the starting from the beginning of the tournament with the England and with China and further. And I just say with the New Zealand match, yeah, it's very hard match, and we all know that New Zealand is one of the good teams. So we fought very well in that match, and unfortunately, we didn't score in the pieces. We have a lot of pieces, and very much we are very much in their circle more than them. And as you saw the matches, and yeah, we will work on our pieces. Then that's it. I think the performance was very, very, very good. I think.
My second question is with Nikki. Hi, Nikki. So, how is the mood now and the spirits of the team as we are now heading towards Commonwealth Games again?
अभी हम लोग का मूड सबका ठीक है। हम लोग जो यहाँ पे हम लोग अच्छे टूर्नामेंट में अच्छे परफॉर्मेंस रहा हम लोग इस टूर्नामेंट में अटैकिंग होके अच्छे खेले, हमारा पासिंग वगैरह अच्छे थे। जस्ट हम लोग स्कोरिंग नहीं कर पाए हैं, तो उसके ऊपर हम लोग अभी कर रहे हैं, वीडियो वगैरह देखेंगे हमें क्या करना है क्या नहीं, तब भी हम लोग आगे चल रहे हैं।
Moving on to my next question, Janneke. Very quickly, can you take us to the performance in the World Cup, especially the penalty corners, your loopholes on which you need to really work?
Yeah, I think we have to. Our performance in the World Cup was, in terms of outcomes, not good enough because we created actually a lot of PCs, which is good, and that is something that we're also not used to, but our execution failed. I think there's many reasons for that. We struggled with the field a little bit with our injections. I think it's a different field than we typically train on, and that's something we had to adjust to, and I don't think we adapted that well. And then I think it has to do with just being perfect in your execution, and that's something we look to focus on in the next couple of weeks, also prior to the start of the Commonwealth Games, saying that we're not the only country struggling. So the field, I do think, had a major role in it. I think Netherlands only scored their 10th penalty corner in the semi-final. So yeah, that there was a matter of circumstances, but saying that, I take full responsibility, saying it needs to be better, and we need to train it differently so we can execute better.
Coach, did the absence of senior player like Rani had an impact on overall caliber of the team?
I don't think it's a very relevant question, to be honest. Players that aren't here, I can't comment. We talked about it before the tournament, and I was very pleased with the 18 and 20 actually that were at the World Cup, and of course their performance is not always consistent and there's improvements needed, but I feel that the group that was there performed to the best of their ability.
Well, you spoke about better execution, better results. How do you ensure this?
I think, as with every skill, it's about a multitude of things. I feel that we did focus on these areas already. It's just about fine-tuning it and understanding a little bit better individually where we are at with our individual skill, understanding a little bit better how we have to play against teams that are playing defensively. You see a small transition happening when we play teams now, that these teams prefer to play more defensively than in the past, where we would maybe be the team that played more defensively and the other teams would attack. And we had actually a lot of space to attack. But you see in the games, actually against China, but also against England, and later in the tournament against Canada also, that these teams are quite happily just defending their own 25. And that means there's 11 people around the circle. And I think as a team, we have to get used to it mentally, that we have less space to attack to. We have to learn that if we have more of the ball, how we can do more with it as well. So overall, I think this tournament has shown us that we're on the right way, but that, we have to now fine tune some of our skills in relation to how other teams approach us.
Tough campaign, we have to say that. And we heard you say that learn how to deal with pressure. Is it the biggest takeaways for you for the tournaments, for the upcoming tournaments?
Yes, for sure. I think, when you come into a tournament and we've trained very hard, you never know what pressure does to you as an individual. I think as a team, we dealt with it really well. And that is something that I think, I'm quite happy with. On the other hand, there is pressure on you as an individual, especially if the performance that you have envisioned maybe for yourself at the start of a tournament is not really how it's going. So finding those solutions and understanding that this is what I can bring to the team, and this is a little bit more difficult. I felt like all our players actually individually made some good steps during this tournament, figuring out, what actually happens to me. Like I said in that huddle, what does pressure do? And I thought that Canada game, for example, was an example where, of course, we struggled because we were disappointed after the Spain game, but we had to show up, and we did, and we didn't give up. And I think that's something that I was very proud of as a coach.
Coach, my next question is in terms of taking learnings from the Spain match and then applying it on Canada match and now Commonwealth game. How do you keep improving?
Yeah, I think we had a little bit less time preparing, and of course you have to deal with the disappointment. And I think I speak for myself, but you can ask the players also. Like, disappointment was huge because, again, in the Spain game, as in actually every game in the tournament, we also had the opportunity to win, and not by luck, but just because of how the game developed. So what I take away from the Spain game is, the few chances we have, for some reason in this tournament, we struggled converting, whether it's a penalty corner or it's a field chance. We defended quite well, except maybe in that last few seconds in the game. And the only thing you can do then is get yourself back up again. So I told the players also, look, you're sad, I'm sad. I was also very sad after the Spain game, and you can be disappointed, but look, we have to play again in 24 hours and be sad now, and tomorrow morning we'll focus on Canada, and that's tough, but we can do these things. We know how to play, and we know how to fight together, and we'll show that we can keep going.
Coach, we know how integral Sharmila has been to the attacking set of our team. But last few months, she has struggled in terms of output. Your thoughts?
Well, I think, every player, when you start your career, you can do anything wrong, and you don't expect anything of yourself. And I think Sharmila is now in that phase where she's played 30, 40 caps, where everything doesn't come naturally anymore, and she starts thinking about things. And when you start thinking about things, then it doesn't necessarily go well. And she's now in that struggle where I think every player has been, and she needs to learn how to get out of her struggle. And I think her teammates are helping her a lot by supporting her and encouraging her. And throughout the tournament, I've had a couple of talks with her and spoke to her and asked her to really start thinking and investigating, okay, why do I feel what I feel? And we had a very productive meeting at the end of the World Cup, and I feel like the solutions will be there. How quickly they will show, let's see. But Sharmila is always someone that works also very hard for the team, and the mindset change also has to be in our team. Like, we work hard. Yes, everyone needs to work hard, but that is not a qualification for playing to your strengths. So working hard is something everyone needs to do, and she always does, and I'm very happy with that. But her mindset change is also like, just working hard doesn't mean I'm playing well. I need to do more, and I think she's getting there.
On the same note, my next question is, what have been your preparations for Commonwealth Games since you have reached UK? So your first step.
Yeah, the players might be better to answer. We're literally here not even 12 hours, or maybe just about 12 hours, 24 hours. It's hot. Yeah, it's hot. It's 35, 40 degrees, but you know, it is what it is, and we're used to it. We've trained in Bhubaneswar. We've played games in that heat with worse humidity, and we haven't seen the actual field in Birmingham because we're in Nottingham right now. So as always, we'll make the best of the circumstances, whatever they might be.
Well said, coach. Like, do you retrieve any positives from the World Cup?
Oh, I think there's a lot. There's a lot. I like I said, I think before the tournament, we knew we were in a tough pool, and that everyone can beat everyone. But you know, it's disappointing to see where we finished. But for me, we're 95% where we want to be as a team. And like I said, I was very happy with this, to see how the team in every game played as a unit and fought together, and they never gave up. And that is something that for me is so important. And I think that one of the players said to me after the tournament, we win as a team, but we also lose as a team. And very often what happens in teams is that if you lose, then it becomes an individual thing. And I feel like we've come stronger together. The girls have put everything in what they have. And, you know, as a coach, then it's just about accepting that you don't always get the outcome you might want, or you do want, and let's keep it in the middle. If we deserve it, I think we're very close to winning in any of the games we played. In not one game we were definitely the team that should be the losing team. And yeah, that means that we're getting close to where we want to be, and hopefully in the future we win more games than we lose. But in the end, we can't always control the outcome, but we can control our performance and what we leave it out there on the field. And I'm very happy with what we've shown. And look, there's always stuff to improve, but I'm really happy with what we showed and how we showed up.
My next question is with Mona. Mona, could you please tell me, how is your preparations going on for Commonwealth Games and your learnings?
Yeah, definitely. Like, we played in the World Cup. We just keep doing the things as we did in the World Cup. We did a lot of good things there, and how we learn a lot of things after losing the pre-quarters, how to play under pressure with the pressure games. And we did a lot of good things in the World Cup. How, like, the attacking game we are playing now, we are more times as compared to the other opponents. We are more numbers in their circles, and we create a lot of pieces. Yeah, definitely we work on our PC attack, and where we can, like, with the field also, like Janneke said already, there is the field issue. But now we just see here how is the field goes, and we working on our PC where we can execute more as individual skills. And the same spirit as we played in the World Cup, we are going through the next tournament in the CWG games. And we are just stay on our principles, whatever we learn from the previous World Cup, and where we work on, we just shown in the next.
Well said, Mona. Coach, you are a straight shooter. So what is your hockey philosophy and how did you develop it? Is there any ideal form to the way you want your team to play hockey, or do you rather look to adapt the players you have?
Well, thank you for the question. It's very interesting, and I think your observation is very accurate. This is who I am. I am a straight shooter. You can ask the players. Now, what I said is, for me, I like to think of myself as a team player and someone that does whatever it takes. And currently I'm the coach and I'm a facilitator for them. So I need to do whatever I need to do to make sure they can perform to the best of their ability. At the same time, I expect the same from them. So I think it doesn't matter if you're junior or senior. I want you to learn more about yourself. I want you to leave everything out there on the field. And if you feel like you can't do anything, I think you still can. And I'm encouraging and supporting them to really, show up and show what they have in them. And then what is the interesting part is that they really start understanding, this is my strength, this is what I'm good at, this is what I should contribute. And if that is using your 3D skills to eliminate someone, that's what you should do. If it's winning the ball from the other opponent because you're a good defender, that is what you should do. And with all that, for me, the DNA of Indian hockey is crucial, and that the girls play the way they want to play, because that's core to their heart and it's core to their senses. And I hope that that's a little bit what you start seeing, because I do think we're good on the ball. We can play some very nice attacking hockey. At the same time, we're also very resilient in our defense. And yeah, I want to play to, India's strengths and the girls' strengths.
Coach, few weeks before the Commonwealth Games, it was World Cup. Given a short span of time, how do you reset yourself?
Yeah, I'm honest, and I think the players can also inform you, it's tough because you don't get what you want, but I felt like, as a team, I was really happy how we finished that tournament, and it took a lot of energy and efforts. But against Japan, it was a good team performance and also a good individual performance, where I thought that all our players were showing themselves. So for me, what was really crucial is that the 3 days after that, I took some time for myself, and I purposely had the players also have some time for themselves and to do and hit that reset button. Because yeah, individually, I felt like I was tired. I was mentally a little bit, all over the place, for the lack of a better word. And I really needed 2 days to just get my head wrapped around things and start focusing again on the Commonwealth Games. So yeah, then, after 2-3 days, we had a meeting and we discussed in detail individually and as a team, this is what we want to do. This is how we're going to do it. And, the girls are great that way, and they want to work hard, and they're ready to go again. And I know they can.
Okay, now both Mona and Nikki, if you can talk about the psychological and mental strength training you guys get, how did it help you rebuilding yourself from great losses?
We learn from Janneke also, I can say, we learn a lot of things even off the field from Janneke. She's very, very, very strong. I cannot compare with the men also. She's pretty strong, and we learned a lot of things from her. How she taught, whenever we play a match, and now you can see the girls are playing fearless. They don't have any fear when they get the ball in the middle. And we, like you saw our previous matches, we just go from sidelines and we enter their circle with the very less. So now we can play in the middle. Any girl, every player is able to play fearless in the middle of the field, and we can transfer the ball, how we are connected with each other. And these things, we build, it start from the camps. We learn these things. Sometimes we are not good enough in the training also, then we have individual meeting with the coach, and she taught us a lot of things, how do you have to deal with these things, as a senior player or as a junior player. And she tell us how to connect with our teammates, some seniors and juniors. Now we have a good bonding with each other. We don't have these things like seniors and juniors. Now we are all on the same page, and we हम इतने connected है एक दूसरे के साथ कि हमें हर easy हो जाता है हमें एक दूसरे के साथ बात करना, खेलना, or all the field. And even now you can see after New Zealand match, हमने lost भी किया, स्पेन के साथ हमारा मैच था. Even in the Spain team also, like we played a very good match, and they just keep defending in their circle, like Janneke already explained to you. Like many teams are just defending with their 11 in their 25, so we have very less time to take a shot, so we can create PC, and we did there. And these are the big things, like after losing Spain match, we bounce back. Like we that time we are very very upset with the things like we lost, and but after that night we just hit the button on, like we have to go for the next match with the Canada, and Canada हमें कॉमनवेल्थ में भी मिलेगा, तो हमने सबने एक मेंटली लेवल इतना हाई हो गया हर एक लड़की का कि जो चीज हो चुकी है अब हम उसको चेंज नहीं कर सकते, बट नेक्स्ट के लिए हम अच्छा कर सकते हैं, तो हमें इन चीजों से सीखना है। तो वही है कि कनाडा का मैच हमारा इतना प्रेशराइज था कि हमारी लड़कियों ने टिल एंड तक वो फाइट किया है, और शूट आउट्स में जाके हमने वो मैच जीता है। और आफ्टर दैट जापान के साथ हमने बहुत ही अच्छा मैच खेला है, इवन कि उनके कितने कम शॉट्स होंगे, 2-3 शॉट्स होंगे, और हमने कितना अटैक किया है, और फर्स्ट टाइम हमने इतनी अच्छी हॉकी खेली है वर्ल्ड कप में, बहुत अच्छी। बट हम डिसअपॉइंट हैं हमारे रिजल्ट से कि हमारा रिजल्ट वो नहीं आया, बट हम अभी भी इतना कॉन्फिडेंट हैं कि कॉमनवेल्थ के लिए हम वो पिछली चीजें वहीं छोड़ आए हैं, बट जो अच्छी चीजें थी हमने जितनी की हैं, तो हम उसको एज अ टीम वैसे ही लेके जाएंगे, और हम एक दूसरे के साथ खड़े हैं, सपोर्ट है एक दूसरे की, जूनियर से लेके सीनियर तक की एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं कि कॉमनवेल्थ अच्छा करना है। और जहां हमारी कमियां रही हैं पीसी के या ड्यू टू की सरफेस, ग्राउंड सरफेस जो भी हमारी रही हैं, हमें कैसे इंजेक्ट करना है या मारने का, हमने सारी अभी प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, और अभी नेक्स्ट कॉमनवेल्थ में हम वहाँ इम्प्रूव करके दिखाएंगे आपको आने वाले टाइम में, होपफुली विल सी।
Coach, if we look forward to Asian Games, given that you played China and Japan, and what's your biggest takeover for the Commonwealth Games?
Yeah, look, I think coming into Asia as a coach myself, I always feel like Asia versus Asia is a different dynamic, and I'm slowly getting used to it. I think the last game against Japan, I think was a huge improvement from when we played them in Oman, and not necessarily just in terms of outcome, but also in terms of mindset. And I feel that the biggest thing for us is that we play from our own strengths and start understanding what the other teams want, whether it's China, Japan, or Korea, and that we need to learn maybe to also be looked at maybe as the highest ranked team in Asia, and maybe play to our strengths and not being busy with, oh, what can they do? I do think China has certain strengths that are very difficult to defend. Same with Japan, but like for me in this World Cup, it showed that China was quite happily just defending, and when they scored that one goal, it's going to be tough. But in that game, we were able to also fight ourselves back into that game. And against Japan, I think same thing. They scored a first goal, but actually afterwards and before also, but we start playing hockey and we create enough. And I think that's the key lesson for us, that if we play to our strengths, it doesn't really matter, and we can be better than the other teams in Asia despite their strengths.
Coach, recently you spoke about penalty corners. Execution, is this a matter of putting more minutes before the match and training sessions to improve?
No, I do think that under pressure, against New Zealand, we played 2 or 3 variations that we didn't execute well. And for me, that as a coach, it's very frustrating, because I think we've spent enough time in training doing it. At the same time, in training, there's no pressure. And then you see that with critical parts, like a penalty corner, the pressure can be of influence, whether it's me not trapping a ball versus I actually completely forgot what my role is in this penalty corner. So with that respect, I think we talked about it, and the girls actually came themselves with a lot of good solutions to improve, and whether it's focusing on your individual skill, to training it more deliberately with defenders, to looking at our skill, like I said, and saying, look, I'm actually not comfortable doing this variation, or maybe it's better that Gurjit learns to say, I need this trapper and I need this inserter, because then I know that I perform better and I have more confidence that my flick goes on goal. At the same time, it's all about taking responsibility, and I think Grace did that in the Japan game in multiple ways, and converting her penalty corner. So there's growth there as well, and there's more to come, especially because of the pressure part.
Coach, next question is, you said once New Zealand is an unknown quantity. Do you think that somewhere it affected the game in the World Cup?
I don't think so. Not really anyway. I think New Zealand was just very good in what they were doing, and we made some errors, and in that game, for example, our penalty corner defense was not where it needed to be, and that's unfortunate, because I think overall we defended quite well. So I wouldn't say that. We know their style, and we know how they want to play, but I think in the third and fourth quarter we were all over them, and in another game you score one or two more and they score, well, hopefully one or two less from their few chances, and it's a different game. So no, not really. I think New Zealand is a very good team. They're a very dangerous team. I always have thought that they don't need many chances to score, and they're hard to contain because they like to play and make the field very big, and they love to play with a lot of turnover moments. So it's very hard to control that game.
Janneke, how important will be the performance of Savita in the team? And which Savita is better, Captain Savita or goalkeeper Savita?
Well, first of all, I think you should ask that question to the players, as she is their captain. But I can only comment that everyone's performance is important. So Savi's is also important, and she knows, as I told her many times, that first she's a player and then she's a captain, and it's also about her performing to her own ability, and she knows that very well. And I think this Savi is better just because we're a year ahead, and she's learning and she's growing and she's becoming a better player, and she is a good leader.
Now, Nikki, you have been with the team for a longer period of time. So your experience?
इस वर्ल्ड कप में हमारा डिफेंस काफी अच्छा था. हम लोग ने पहले होता था कि हम बहुत ज्यादा पीसी वगैरह देते थे और डिफेंस उतना अच्छा नहीं था, पर इस पूरे टूर्नामेंट में डिफेंस अच्छा ऑर्गेनाइज रहा. काउंटर कंट्रोल जो भी होता है वो सब अच्छे से किया था, और हम इसको कंटिन्यू करेंगे और कॉमनवेल्थ में लेके जाएंगे.
Janneke, you once said that you hate losing. So how hungry is this team? The India men's team is talked about. They have history, they have medals, they have had a lot of success in the past. But the women's team is at the starting point in a sense. So are they even hungrier for the success?
I know. Again, it's a better question to ask the player. I hate losing, but I think you have two players in this press conference that also hate losing, and they can get quite grumpy if it doesn't go their way, whether it's in training and we're playing to win in competition day or in a normal game. I think it's part of life, and as I said, you can hate losing, and we do everything we can. It's just we need to make sure that we're not afraid of losing, because then that's where it's going wrong. So we just have to play, and we can lose. It's part of sport. So, but we want to win always.
But you hate losing. So what's your vision for the team this time?
Well, listen, I hate losing, so I want to win. So I'll do anything in my power to make sure the team is in the best position to win. And for me, that means that I have to prepare them well in training, mentally, physically, but also, for me, my role in the game is, to call the right penalty corners. And I also said, like in a New Zealand game, at one point, I also got frustrated with myself, more or less, not with them, with myself, that, I just wasn't calling the right PC and I wasn't helping them. And that's on me. And I know that plays a role also. So I have to take my responsibility to make sure that they can be in the best position, in pole position to have a win in whatever game it is.
Coach, do you think that the midfield has to be more aggressive?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, I think all our midfielders the same way are trying. We had Jyoti and Sonika, by the way, playing their first major tournament. And I was actually quite happy with how they did. But they're also on this learning curve, and as is every midfielder. And I think slowly but surely everyone starts understanding what their strength is. And if you ask Mona, she'll know what her strength is and what she needs to bring to the team, regardless of the game. And yeah, that is also part of it. Part of it is aggressive. But if I would look at it, my midfield say it's not aggressive enough, I wouldn't agree. I would say no. I think we did a lot of things well, but I think every player, whether it's Mona, Nea, Navneet, Sonika, Jyoti, Salima, they know what their strengths are and how they can put themselves in the best position to contribute to the team. And I think the World Cup was definitely not a wasted opportunity, because with all these games, we learned more about ourselves and we learned more about our team, and we'll be the better for it. And unfortunately, when there's 16 teams in a tournament, only one is going to win. And in women's hockey, very often it's still the Netherlands. So, and I do believe, talking to all the other coaches, that the rest of the world is quite close. And yeah, maybe next time it does, and maybe it is not. And we have to be honest, and we have to be better, and we're trying to be better.
Are we ever going to see Netherlands being toppled in future, coach?
If it's anything up to me and our players, I think yes. But listen, they're good, and I think if we play to the best of our performance in the Commonwealth, it's still possible that we lose, because Australia has a good team, because other teams are also good. We can't just say, oh, we will beat them or we will win a medal. Like I said, I think Netherlands is beatable, but they have a lot more talent on average than any other team in the world. And that means that they don't have to be perfect to win. When they're perfect, they'll win. And for us, it's the challenge to be better and to become closer to perfect. And then we can challenge them for sure. And I know for a fact that the Netherlands doesn't really like to play us, because it's different than what they're used to. And I think that's the compliments left and right sometimes we got from other countries also. There is progress, we're making progress. And yeah, it goes with ups and downs. And I'm happy where we're headed as a team and as an individual as well.
Thank you so much for your time, the trio, Mona, Nikki and Janneke. Best of luck for Commonwealth Games.